Okay, so if you're in the business world right now, you know AI is just everywhere. It's impossible to ignore. But let's be real. How much of that is actual game-changing transformation and how much is just, hype? Well, in this explainer, we're going to cut through all that noise. We're going to give you the hard, data-driven truth about what's really going on with AI in the enterprise.
And that's the multi-billion-dollar question, right? Are companies actually using this stuff to make a real difference, to move the needle? Or is this whole thing just a super expensive, shiny new toy that everyone's playing with?
Well, to get to the bottom of it, we're not just going to guess. We're diving straight into the source, OpenAI's brand new State of Enterprise AI report for 2025. And get this, they didn't just poll a few people. They actually analyzed usage data from over 1 million business customers to see what's really happening on the ground. All right, so here's the game plan. The report basically boils everything down to 4 big truths about enterprise AI right now. First, usage is absolutely exploding and getting way deeper. Second, the return on investment, it's real, and you can actually measure it. Third, this isn't just a Silicon Valley thing, it's a global, multi-industry movement. And finally, and this is a big one, a massive gap is opening up between the leaders and, well, everyone else. We're going to break down each one, so let's get started. Okay, first up, AI usage. It's not just growing, it's literally exploding. I mean, we are so far past the let's experiment a little phase. AI is becoming core infrastructure for businesses, plain and simple. And the data here really tells a powerful story, starting with just the sheer scale of it all. Just look at this, a 9-fold increase year over year in ChatGPT enterprise seats. Think about that for a second. That's not just a couple of tech startups playing around. This is huge, established companies going all in on AI. But it gets even crazier. We're seeing a 19 times increase in people using custom GPTs. Now, this is a really big deal. Why? Because it shows that companies aren't just using some off-the-shelf AI. Nope, they're building their own custom versions tailored for their specific workflows. They're weaving it right into the fabric of how they do business. And then there's this number, which is just mind-blowing. A 320 times increase in something called API reasoning token consumption. Okay, in plain English, what does that even mean? It means companies are now taking AI's most advanced, complex problem-solving brains and building them directly into their own products and services. And they're doing it at a massive, massive scale. So, okay, adoption is through the roof. We get it. But the big question is, so what? Does any of this actually help the bottom line? And that brings us to the second big truth from the report. Yes, absolutely. This usage is translating into real, tangible return on investment. I mean, check this out. Every business leader, every manager needs to see this. The average worker is saving 40 to 60 minutes a day, every single day. Just let that sink in. That's up to an hour per employee per day back in their pocket. When you scale that across an entire company, the productivity gains are just staggering. And these savings aren't just some abstract number either. You can see it happening in specific departments. Look at IT. A whopping 87% of them say they're resolving issues faster thanks to AI. Marketing, 85%. HR, 75%. It's happening everywhere, improving operations across the whole business. But honestly, this next point might be the most important thing to understand about ROI. It's not just about speed. It's not just about making people faster at the jobs they already do. It's about giving them brand new superpowers. 75%, 3/4 of workers say they can now do complex tasks they just couldn't do before. Things like coding or digging into complex data. AI is literally upskilling the workforce in real time. Okay, so let's zoom out a bit, because this whole transformation, it isn't just happening in one place or in one type of company. This is a truly global phenomenon. You can see the spread right here on the map. Yeah, the US is still a huge hub for AI, no question. But look at where the fastest growth is happening. It's international. Places like Australia, Brazil, France, they're seeing growth rates of over 143%. That's just incredible. And it's the exact same story when you look at different industries. You'd expect the tech sector to be growing fast, right? And it is, 11x. But look at what's right on its heels. Healthcare is growing at 8x, manufacturing at 7x. This proves that AI is way more than just a tool for software companies. It's solving tough, real-world problems everywhere. But, and this is a really big but, here's where the story takes a really critical turn. Because inside this massive explosion of AI growth, something else is happening. A huge gap is opening up. The report actually calls it the Great Divergence, this growing divide between the companies that are leading the charge and, well, everyone else who's falling behind. So to really get this, the report looks at two very different kinds of users. First, you've got what they call the frontier worker. Think of them as the top 5%, the power users who are weaving AI into everything they do, every single day, for complex stuff. And then you have the median worker, who might use AI here and there for more basic, simple tasks. And the difference between these two groups, it's not just big, it is absolutely staggering. Take a complex task like coding. The frontier worker is generating 17 times more AI activity than the median worker. That's not a gap, folks. That is a chasm, a huge gaping chasm. And here's why that chasm matters so much. The benefits you get from AI, they compound. The more you use it, the more value you get. The data is crystal clear. Workers who use AI for about 7 different kinds of tasks save 5 times more time than those who only use it for about 4. The more you put in, the more you get out, and it's not a straight line, it's exponential. So what's the holdup? What's keeping more companies from crossing that chasm? The report's answer is really direct. It's not the tech. The models are good enough, the tools are there. The single biggest bottleneck now is organizational readiness. It's about a company's ability to change, to adapt its strategy and its workflows to actually make use of what's possible. And that brings us perfectly to our last and probably most important section, the AI Leaders Playbook. So, what exactly are these top-tier, front-tier firms doing that the others aren't? How are they getting these incredible results? Well, the report breaks it down into 5 key habits. First, they do deep system integration. This means they're not just playing with a chatbot, they're building AI right into their core software. Second, workflow standardization. They figure out what works, and then they create repeatable AI solutions that everyone can use. Third, and this is crucial, executive sponsorship. The leaders at the top are driving the change. Fourth, data readiness. You've heard it before, their data is clean, organized, and ready to go. And finally, number 5, deliberate change management. They don't just throw the tech at their people. They actively train them and support them through the whole process. It's a complete strategy. And when you put that playbook into practice, the results are just wow. Look at Lowe's. Their conversion rate more than doubles when a customer uses their AI shopping assistant. At Indeed, an AI career coach helps people apply for jobs 7 times faster. Intercom, an AI voice agent, is now resolving over half of their complex support calls start to finish. And Moderna has crunched a key part of their development analysis from weeks down to just hours. Incredible stuff. So when you take a step back and look at all this data, what's the big takeaway? It's this. AI is evolving. It's moving beyond just being a neat personal productivity tool and becoming a core, strategic driver of competitive advantage. The companies that really master this playbook, they're building an engine for growth that their competitors are going to find almost impossible to catch up with. And that brings us right back to where we started, with that great divergence, that gap between the AI leaders and the laggards. It's not closing. In fact, it's getting wider every single day. So the question this report really leaves you with is a simple one, but it's a big one. Which side of that divide is your business going to be on?